Hello everybody, I am going to be doing one of the landscape postcards today. So the postcards that I'm using are these Frisk A6 cotton watercolour postcards. They're 300 GSM and they are cold pressed and 100% cotton. So that's what I am using. I have already taped mine down onto this cutting board. Yeah, I was just trying to think of the name for a minute. Yeah, so I've taped it onto this cutting board just so that I can get a nice border around the edge. The picture that I'm using I got from Pixabay. And there we go, that's the person, and it's basically some grasses and a kind of a blurry background, but I thought that might make a nice card. I'm going to use my beam paints, so I've got those ready. I think I'm probably going to use some bleed proof white, possibly use, this is the Colero gold and silver pearl colours, so I think I will probably use a gold in there. I've got a couple of brushes at the ready. I've got an Escoda size 8 and I have got a Van Gogh size 4, so we're only working on a small piece of paper here. So, and then I've got this tool, as I call it, in case I want to scrape out some grasses. What else do we have here? This is the one I did earlier. This is the reference picture. That was what I did earlier, so I'm going to be doing something similar. And yeah, we're just going to have a play and have a go. So I need some water as usual. Let's find some water. Okay, we'll get our water in there. And what I will probably do is I'm going to come down a bit so that you can see better what it is that I'm doing now that I've showed you what I'm going to be using. So let's do that. Let's go down a touch. Let's see what happens if we do that. Ooh, let's move you out of the way. Okay, there we go. So now you've got a better view of what I'm doing on this very tiny 6x4 postcard. And I'm just going to check that my lens isn't too dirty. So let's get you lined back up again. There. That's better, isn't it? Okay. So let us make a start. And I'm going to start obviously with my background, and because I want this to be wet in wet, I'm just going to spray my little postcard with some water, and I'm going to use, let's see, I'll use this Cub Brown in the beam paints, so we'll get some of that activated because we've got quite a dark bit in one area, and then we've got a few other dark bits over here. So it's not really we don't have to be too specific here. We're just getting a background in. And then we've got this kind of yellowy colour. So I am using, what am I using now? Harvest. It's called Harvest. So this has got quite a bit of yellow in it. Pretty colour. And I want some bits to be quite light, which is why I've left those two bits quite light. But I think I will also, just for good measure, this is the Timberwolf Grey, which is like a Payne's Grey. I'm going to get some of that in there as well, into this bit here, just to give us, ring the changes a little bit, and maybe don't just want it in one place, so we'll add a bit more over here. Okay, so that's kind of doing its thing there. I'm just going to scrape in so that I've got some texture going on, and that will keep moving, but I want that to dry before I can see whether I need to darken it. I don't know, maybe I need to darken that a little bit more anyway. She says, let's just get that bit. We've got this quite dark bit here, so I'm just going to see if I can get that a bit darker. Get more of that blue in there. Right, let's let that one dry. Okay, so this is now dry, and I quite like that we've got some light patches, we've got some dark patches, and that is what I call the undercoat, or the first layer of paint. Next, I want to get a few dark stalks in, or grasses in, some that are lighter, and then we've got like these bright white bits, so that's what our bleed proof white is going to be for. So I'm going to start off initially by getting a this dark cub brown. I might mix it with a little bit of, what colour is this? Grey ochre, just to darken it a bit more. So I'm going to mix the two together. So that it becomes darker. Need more. This is not darkening up as much as I would like. Okay, so I've mixed it in here. And now I want to get some of these so that they stand out a bit more. And then we need some lighter ones. So I think we will go with, this is called Mars Violet. So let's go with Mars Violet and get more of a reddy brown in there to bring it to the foreground. few going across there. And some of them are definitely kind of bent over. So perhaps we need to bend a few over like so. And then we'll go for some that are even lighter with our harvest. Got quite a bit on my brush there. So let's do some that are in this lighter colour. There. And then I'm going to take one of those golds. I'm going to go with, what gold am I using? The Arabic gold. So let's, this might take a bit of activating. Quite often these ones do, the ones with sort of mica, I think they're called mica pigments. Oh, there we go, that's looking quite good. So let's have some that are golden. There. Now I can't add the white in or do any of the other, what I call top layer work, until this has dried. So I will be back in a second once I've dried this. Okay, so now let's move on to our bleed proof white, and we're going to add some of this bleed proof white in and get, if I bring this reference picture back, I want to get some of these. Okay, I'm not sure quite where my phone cut out again. It was doing an update for my smartwatch, and obviously as soon as it had finished the update, somehow it stopped the video from filming. So yes, that's not great, is it? But I think you can kind of see where I've added in some of those white ones, and I've also done a bit more with the gold, and just for good luck we're going to add a few gold splats. Okay, so if I go back, you can now see it from a distance a little bit more. I think that looks rather lovely. There's our reference picture, and that's my version. It's not quite dry, but I will take the tape off. Try and do it carefully. There we go, there's one bit. Ooh, sticky. Okay, let's remove that for a moment, get rid of my sticky tape off my fingers. Ooh, there we are. Okay, so there we have, you can see my coloured ink on my printer was starting to go, but that was my first attempt, and I'm hoping that you can see that I think my second attempt is much better. And I really love that. It's got a real gold shine to it. I think it's really pretty. Very simple to do. Very simple to do indeed. So that is the first of our, bring that right up, first of our postcards. And I'm going to be doing 6 more landscape, and then I'm going to be doing 6 animals. I can show you the next landscape that we're going to be doing is this one. So that will be on the next video. But before that, I want to share with you something else that I've been playing with. So I just need to move a few things off of my desk and get to the right page. Here we go. There. So here I have used just 3 Daniel Smith colours. Those colours are Aussie Red Gold, Payne's Blue Grey, and Rose of Ultramarine. So those were my 3 colours that I used. You can see here, there's Payne's Blue Grey, PB60, PBK6, Aussie Red Gold, PY83, PR101 and PV19, and Rose of Ultramarine, which is PB29 and PV19. And then the mixes that I got, I managed to get a fairly olivey green, a deeper purple, and if I can move that out of my way, we might have to go sideways. More of a sort of a burnt orangey, browny orangey colour. If I mix all 3 together, I get this brown. You can see where I've allowed them to just merge on the page. I've done a little bit of gold pen, a little bit of a white pen, and then this is, where are we? This is the Pebeo Cern Relief, and this is the white. So I thought that that gave quite a nice effect. I quite like those colours together. You can see where I've tried some coloured pencils over the top, and those coloured pencils were Prussian Blue, which is a luminance, Cool Grey, which was Holbein, Burnt Umber, which was Holbein, Dark Honey, which was Derwent Light Fast, Cornelian, which is a luminance, Amber Gold, which is a Derwent Light Fast, Olive Green Yellowish, which is a Holbein, Moss Green, which is a luminance, Quinacridone Purple, which is a luminance, and Light Purple Pink, which is a Holbein. The gold pen was a Faber-Castell gold pen, and although I tried the Jelly Roll in white, I ended up preferring the Uniball Signo white one. And then I just tried using some of those colours together, and I think, can we see all of that? Just about, can't we? Yeah. I think that that makes a really interesting colour palette with just 3 Daniel Smith colours. Obviously there's pencils and pens and Pebeo Cern Relief, but in effect the core of it is those 3 Daniel Smith colours. So I just wanted to share what I'd been playing with there. For those of you that love your Daniel Smith colours, maybe that's a palette that you might want to play with. But I quite often use this kind of layout when I'm testing colours. I mean, that just, it's just like brilliant springtime to me, that, or maybe even summer, with its dark greens, its browns, its oranges, pinks, purples, blues even come out there because there's blue in the panes, blue grey. So yeah, it's a really pretty colour palette in my mind. So what have I got coming up? Obviously I've got more of those postcards that we're going to be doing, but I also have this coming up, Make Art Where You Are, and I'm going to share with you what I've been doing with that. So have a lovely day. Have a go at the little 4x6 postcard. So let's just close that up and bring that back up to the forefront again. There we go. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the time is, wherever you are in the world. Take care of yourselves and see you next time.